Hello and welcome to another episode of Kaffee und Kuchen with Internationals. This is your co-host Sanchi, and I'm very happy to welcome with us today Natalia as our guest. Hi Natalia, very happy that
Hi.
you're here.
Oh, thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm very excited to talk to you.
Yeah.
So before we get started with anything, maybe Natalia, would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners so they also know who you are?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Natalia. I'm a Guatemalan graphic designer and illustrator. And I have been here in Germany for 4 years, specifically in Hamburg. And yeah, I have a bunch of projects. I guess we will talk about them throughout the podcast. But yeah, a little bit about them is a yoga project that I started in Spanish. So that one is one of my biggest ones. But I have been doing a bunch of stuff here in Germany, and it has been a very cool journey. So very excited to be able to share it here.
That's great. Thank you so much, Natalia. Um, you said that you came to Germany in, well, I think 4 years ago, so that's
Yeah.
2021 from Guatemala. Was this your first time in Germany, or had you been before?
No, it was my first time in Germany. I have been in Europe like for traveling and stuff, but everything of my studies, first jobs, etc. was in Guatemala. So it was kind of like a leap of faith to come to Germany because I had no idea how it was going to be.
Oh, okay. So you just decided one day that okay, I'm going to try something new, and I'm going to go to Germany.
Kinda like I started thinking that I always know I wanted to move.
Mhm.
Um, and my first choice was Spain because it's easier with the language. But I have two older cousins that move here to Hamburg specifically. So, and they were like very like, you should come with us and we would help you and you will love it here. But I really didn't want to learn German. So I have a tough time like deciding on coming here.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I am part of an organization called CISV,
Mhm.
and it's like international camps with children. So the whole thing is that you go to another country and then you meet people from all over the world. And I always used to have like delegations from Hamburg, and he was like, maybe it's a sign. And the people I met there were super nice, and we have a thing called National Night, and they show you their country and their city, and it was very cool. So I was like, okay, maybe I could give a Hamburg a chance. And so
Oh,
yeah, that's how I ended up here.
that sounds really interesting. It's really kind of a leap of faith, like you said. You had different influences, and then one day you just said, "Okay, let me go and see what this place is." Right?
Yeah, exactly. And with it was kind of like a blessing and a curse. Like I was about to go in 2020. Like I had, okay, 2020 I leave, and then the pandemic happened. But it was good because I started like with German classes and saving more money, so it allowed me to be more calm and safe, feeling safer with moving here. With yeah, having to pass my money to euros.
That's actually so interesting because I think it's the first account that I hear of someone who moved to Germany in the pandemic and actually has something positive to talk about it.
Like at least it was a little bit after, so it was not so
Yeah,
bad.
true. Yeah.
But yeah, I was still like using masks, and also in Guatemala we really don't use like parks and public
Hmm.
spaces that much because we depend a lot on the cars. So for me, it was very cool to be able to be walking outside, or here is more secure. So to be discover this whole world of being able to go alone in the street and not worry. So yeah,
Okay, so you really had a good experience despite moving, in the pandemic.
yeah,
So, because you said, it was a leap of faith and you did have some kind of influences, but you didn't really know the country so well. It was a
yeah.
different language, different culture. So, maybe I come to my favorite question now, which is, which everybody will hear in every episode that I do, which is, what was your like first culture shock when you came to Germany?
Hmm. Maybe the hugging because I hug everybody. And I remember that like the first time I met the roommate of my boyfriend, I like throw myself to her, like to hug her, and she was like all stiff, and I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be hugging everybody. Maybe they don't like it. So maybe that like difference of how people interact sometimes in how different it is from Latin America. So yeah, trying to learn that, and also maybe not to judge it so hard. At the beginning, I was like, they're so cold, and like everything. Like I think it's very common that when you come here, you think that, but then like yeah, I learned to not judge it that much and like adapt, like depending with who I was, and also like respect how is their yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's an interesting take as well. To not judge it, because it's very natural to have those feelings when you move and you say, "Hey, why are you like this?"
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then it's funny because then I come back to Guatemala and I catch myself doing stuff that are more German, and I'm
Yeah,
like, oh. So yeah, I think it's normal also like to have
yeah,
a negative reaction towards something that is different.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just like interesting to learn about it.
Yeah, yeah. So I think maybe it's important to keep like an open mind and to remind yourself that you're in a different place. Of course, things are
Yeah,
going to be different, and people have their own ways of being.
yeah, exactly.
So in this whole process, of adaptation, was there any moment where you felt, oh, this is the place, that I've been looking for all my life? Or did you have a feeling of, ooh, I'm not really sure if this is going to be the place, because it could go either way. There have been people I've spoken to who moved to Germany and said, oh, this was really, for me. And I don't know
Mhm.
where I had been all my life.
Yeah.
And then there were people who moved here, and even after years, they're not really sure if this is their place. So,
Mhm.
how was it for you?
I think it's a mixture
Mhm.
because some days I'm like really like, oh my god, this is the best place, and also because it's very open in my area of what I do, like arts, graphic design. There's so many opportunities and so many like cultural activities that I feel very like, yeah, this is my place. But there are other times where I have, I don't know, to deal with bureaucracy or maybe a bad face or like not so nice attitude, and it's like, I'm not sure if I can continue here. But I think also that has been like improving with the community that I have been like building here, my friends, and with my family. It's always like nice to have someone that understands you. Yeah, like makes it less like intense, the feeling of I want to live. And you can also focus a lot in what is good for you and what is giving you. And also whenever I go to another country, I say like, oh yeah, that was pretty, but I miss Hamburg or stuff like that. So that's how I say, okay, maybe I do like it here and I want to stay.
Yeah. Yeah, so you found a way to make Hamburg your home, right? Because when you
Hmm.
say, yeah, when I go to another country, I want to come back, that's like the feeling of home, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Even in I went to Guatemala recently, and in the airport they asked me, "Oh, so you're going back home?" And I had like a whole like internal like mix of like yes, but no, but yeah, but Hamburg is my home, but Guatemala is also. So yeah, it's starting to get there. Like
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a part of living abroad. You always have two homes and you never know what to answer to that question. Are you going
yeah,
home? You say yes and no.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, dying.
um, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
um, you mentioned finding your community and having like your family here,
Mhm.
that of course makes it easier because you have somebody who understands you, you have somebody that is familiar to you, that you can share your roots with, let's say.
Yeah.
And then you also mentioned you have your friends, right?
Mhm.
So usually what happens is it's a very natural thing that your friends usually turn out to be people from your own community, and very
Yeah.
few people go beyond. So how was that experience for you?
I think I have like I had a lot of pressure from myself to find German friends. And I used to get very frustrated because first I didn't understand the language. It tends to be a bit hard that they change to English, especially if there's a lot of Germans. So I've at the beginning I felt very like left out and alone in meetings and stuff like that. So I did like seek like for refugee in my cousins and their friends, but at the same time I wanted like to build my own group. And I started going like to different events like from BBA, and
Hmm.
that's where I met a lot of like Latinas, and I started doing like little by little like connections and meeting new people. That was like my people, because sometimes
Yeah.
I feel like at the beginning you make friends because you really just want someone, and then you start like, okay, would I be friends with this person
Yeah.
in a normal
Yeah.
situation? And
Yeah.
then you start finding your own people,
Yeah.
and that's how it went. And then I started participating in some stuff of art, and I met this German girl that is like a very good friend. And then I met other German girl that was very into Spanish. So like, I don't know, like, you find like the personalities that match good
Hmm.
with you. And
Yeah.
it's fine. I think it's fine if you don't have like a lot of German friends, but
Yeah.
it's good not to stay just in your bubble,
Yeah.
because at the end they help you a lot, like to understand better the culture, or
Yeah. Yeah.
not to have this negativity towards the
Yeah.
whole country and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like you said, you make friends based on personality. So it's not guaranteed that you're going to find
Mhm.
friends in your own community or you're going to find friends in a certain group of people. It really
Yeah.
depends on the person and your connection with the person.
Yeah, exactly. Like I do workshops, like art
Mhm.
workshops, and a girl that went, she's from Latin America, and she was saying that she would rather hang out with people from other cultures than Latin America because that's her experience and that's her
Yeah.
like preference. And I was like, oh, true, that's also valid. And
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So you said you do art workshops, right? Is this part of like the first few things that you mentioned? You said you build your own community in different ways. So you mentioned that you were going to different events and meeting different people, but you
mhm,
also mentioned something about doing yoga in Spanish, and then now you have the art
yeah,
workshops. Would you like to maybe explain that so that people can maybe take inspiration from it?
yeah, sure. Like it was cool because I feel like it has been like a lot of like a series of events that has like create like the community. But I think like for me it was very important to be very like getting out of my comfort zone.
Mhm.
So during one of the, I don't know, I went to a workshop and I met this woman, and this woman knew Andrea from Casa Rafaela, that has also been
Mhm.
in this podcast.
Yeah.
And then I saw her in Instagram and I was like, ah, this girl is super cool. And I follow her. And then she put a post for photos or something like that. So I texted her, and then we ended up having coffee. And she proposed to me to do a workshop together.
Mhm.
So that's how I started like my whole workshop like situation. Like I had never done one, but she was super supportive. So we did that together, and I was like, oh, I like this. And it was very cool to get to meet people in a different environment. Also, it's like a art mixed with manifesting and
Mhm.
like more inner world work. So it was a more vulnerable space where you could like actually talk about like a more deep theme with different people. So that's how I started that. And then last year I got fired from my job.
Ooh.
And I
Okay.
was like, okay, what am I gonna do with my time? And I started doing a lot of yoga.
Mhm.
And I knew this girl that she's from Latin America as well and is a teacher. So we were both talking about how we would like to have more community, or like somewhere to go and be able to speak Spanish or to connect with people in Spanish. And we were like, okay, let's start a project. And we started our project of yoga in Spanish, and it's called El Refugio. And that is like the the not refugee. It's like a different word, but it's like yeah, like a safe
Okay.
space. Uh-huh. We started giving like sporadic events, but this year we started giving the classes every Sunday, and
Okay.
now yeah, and now we are with a girl called Sarah and another girl called Sarah, and they both speak Spanish and they give the classes on Sunday. But the cool thing is that we stay after the class talking, and a lot of people has come and connected, and even Germans that speak Spanish and they want to practice, or their mom is Latina and their
Ah,
dad is
fun.
German,
Yeah.
so they want to reconnect with the culture. So it has been very cool and very like a nice surprise to see so many Germans going, because I feel like it also gives them this space to
Yeah.
explore this like part. Even if they don't speak Spanish, they come. So it's very
Yeah.
cool to see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like okay, you follow, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's very
Yeah,
nice.
that's it's really cool how it went from just meeting one person to finding this confidence of doing a workshop by yourself to going through a tough time, which was getting fired last year, and taking that and turning it into something that is so beautiful, and that is about community.
Yeah.
So I think that's very inspiring, and I'm sure that a lot of listeners will be able to use that for
Oh,
themselves.
thanks.
And I really also um, really find that beautiful that you turned your interest for yoga into something that is for the community. So it's not
Mhm.
just you go there, you do some yoga for I don't know how many minutes, and then choose everybody's home.
Yeah.
So it's not like work. It's something that you're enjoying, you're exchanging with other people,
Yeah. Exactly.
um, experiences, you're getting to know new people. So I think that's really really beautiful, and
Thanks.
I want to say congratulations almost
Oh,
to you for
oh,
building something like this, especially that you moved here only 4 years ago, kind of in the middle of a pandemic, let's say. You had to go through a new language, through a new culture, through new bureaucracy and things like that. Find your own community, find, ways to connect with people that also felt true to you. So, I'm thinking about art, thinking about now yoga. So I
mhm.
think that's really, really, um, I don't know how to say it. I'm looking for the right word. I want to say cool, but it's not doing justice. It's not enough. I think what I want to say is it's the power of saying yes
Yeah.
to things. It's like you said, leap of faith at the beginning when you moved to
Mhm.
Germany. I think through our talks, I also see that you took a leap of faith with a lot of other things.
Yeah.
That led you to this situation that you have right now, which is very beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
um, so I think it's important, also to take this leap of faith, to say yes to things, to maybe go a little bit out of your comfort zone and do something that you wouldn't have done
Yeah.
otherwise. And you never know what this leads you to, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like once, yeah, it was very important for me because the first year I was very, I don't know, comfortable in my situation and also still learning a lot of stuff. And I was just like with my cousins or my boyfriend or my boyfriend's friends. But I was still like, I don't feel like me. And I felt like this, I don't know, call for doing more.
Hmm.
And in this like whole like path of doing the yoga and workshops, I have met so many cool people, and I have also seen the connections forming between other people, and it's very exciting, like oh now they're friends, or I see them on Instagram hanging out together. I was like they're friends because they came to this. So it's nice to also do something like that makes your soul happy, I guess,
Hmm.
because I do have now another job, and it's like a
Hmm.
9 to 5 and normal and it's cool,
Hmm.
but this actually like makes me happy and like yeah, like fulfills me and gives me like a purpose.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, it's nice.
I think that's great that you said, it feels fulfilling. I think that's very important
Mhm.
to find that thing that feels fulfilling for you.
Yeah.
And that might be anything. That might even be just reading a book in a library, right?
Yeah,
Could be
yeah,
anything.
yeah. Because yeah, I don't know. I refuse to just stay in the job and do that. Like I don't know. Like I can't stay just in one thing. Also, like as you can see, I like to have like many projects at the same time. But I think it's just like, and if you are okay just staying the job is also fine. But I think it's
Mhm.
important to know what is gonna make you happy
Yeah.
and like honor it and do it to you.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a very good point, just to be aware of yourself and to know
Mhm.
what it is that makes you happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, I'm wondering if at any point, because when you said you got fired last year, I'm wondering if, because for a lot of internationals, when they get fired in Germany, especially if
Mhm.
their German is not at a good level, they find themselves in a very helpless position, let's say, because
Mhm.
there are not so many jobs where you can go without German, and the market is very difficult as it is. So, was there any moment where you felt
Mhm.
everything is going to crap, and
Mhm.
you just need to somehow get out of it? Or I don't know, was there like a moment of doubt, and if yes, how did you come over it?
Oh my god, yes.
Okay.
No, but I have been fired twice in Germany.
Oh wow, okay.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
it was not fire, but the company couldn't hire me because
Mm-hmm.
money is blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very like not a nice situation because I was in Guatemala and they told
Mm-hmm.
me New Year. So it was like, ah, okay, good, Happy New Year.
Okay.
Uh, but I think in that one was a very strong thing of um, like survival mode
Mm-hmm.
because I was yeah like when they told me I because I was in Guatemala I went with my mom and I cry and I was like super helpless and stuff. But then I was like, okay, no, doesn't matter. We don't have time for like crying, and I'm gonna do my portfolio and da da da. And I started like working on how I was going to get clients. But I am very like that. Like I get in survival mode and I start doing and I applied for jobs. And the good thing is that in my area at least English is very accepted because it's marketing and design, and it doesn't matter if you don't know what you're designing, like what are the words that are what are they saying, just do a nice design. So I found a job 3 months after in Berlin. So it was remote and it was a pretty good job. And then from that one, I got a lot of doubts because I feel like, yeah, when you study in Latin America, they always make, I don't know, Europe bigger. Like, oh, designers in Europe are this. And I don't know, you feel like you will never reach that level. But when I started working and like I started doing good and being praised with by my design and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I am good and stuff like that. But yeah, I was also very connected with like imposter syndrome and stuff like that because you feel like you're not doing it well, but you are, but like you can't depend all the time on external validation.
Yeah.
And I had a lead that was very good. She was my team lead and she was very like, how can I give you feedback, how can I
Mm-hmm.
make you like tell you when you are doing something good, like do you like it publicly or just you and me. And so I think that was a very good experience with that. And then when I got fired from that job, it was like stressful but not so stressful
Mm-hmm.
because I could apply for the Arbeit.
Ah, yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it was still like dealing with a new bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm.
So like I remember getting out of the Arbeitsagentur like crying because I tried
Okay.
to talk in German and it was not good. But like yeah, I think it was very like going through it and
Mm-hmm.
asking for help from the
Yeah.
people that you have around. And also like there's a lot of groups from
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Latinas in Hamburg or BBA that where you can ask these questions and
Mm-hmm.
people will tell you, and it's very valuable like the free advice basically, and
Yeah.
like people that already had the experience.
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I think that's how I came through like the situation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hear a lot of going into survival mode, somehow
Mhm.
finding this confidence or this belief in yourself that you will make it,
Yeah.
even if it's going to be difficult, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
it's not going to be easy, but
yeah, and I think that kind of comes like together with the saying yes and doing it, and
Mhm.
I don't have time for doubts. I do it, and let's see.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's
Yeah, so pushing through and just believing in yourself that it's going to be fine and you will make it.
yeah. But I also think like it depends on the people, but it's
Yeah.
also very important like to have the like support like from I don't know therapy or
Mm-hmm.
something like that because that also helped me a lot
Mm-hmm.
and I have been doing it before, so I
Yeah.
already had like tools to
Mm-hmm.
like apply,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like still like to recognize okay maybe I do need it and I will come back to it and
Mm-hmm.
accept the help because you
Yeah.
can't like you can't or you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You don't have to do it alone
Hmm.
because a lot of times, I guess, when we move abroad, we try to do everything by ourselves because
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but maybe we want to tell ourselves that we can do it.
Hmm.
But you don't have to.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can if you have fun with it, but if it gets too much, there's always your community. You can always ask for help, and that's the importance of community as well, to
Yeah.
have your safety net, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also know your limits, like because I do tend to get a lot in my plate. And so I was like German and yoga and art and illustration and my projects and work. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm gonna leave something like right now that is like everything can't be my priority. So I left German, but I am already in a level that I can defend myself. And I was
Okay.
like, I'm not giving the whole time to German, so I will come back. And also,
Yeah.
I think at least in my situation, I can do that. So it's good
Hmm.
to know what you can not
Yeah.
like you can survive without right now.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you have a job area where you need German, of course, is the priority. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think if we knew each other outside, we would be very good friends because I have similar traits. So when you're saying these things, I say, "Oh yes, I feel it. I feel it in my soul."
yeah, like yeah, it has been a journey with German. Like yeah,
Yeah, but also, this thing of, oh, I want to do this and this and this and this,
mhm,
and then at the end you're doing everything and nothing, and
yeah,
it's too much, right? So knowing your
yeah,
limits, I think that's a very good point that you just
yeah,
made.
exactly.
I'm gonna take
Yeah.
inspiration myself as well. So not just for the listeners, this is also for me.
Yeah, because sometimes like I have been doing this in therapy and it's like, yeah, sometimes you don't have like the limits is with yourself, not with others. I'm
Yes.
like, oh, okay. That felt like direct, but yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. Um So I'm gonna go to something nice, which is, what was your favorite part, or maybe you can choose two, I don't know, your favorite part of this journey that you've had so far. So, from the moment that you decided
Yeah.
to move to Germany till today. So what was
Okay.
your favorite part, and what was the most difficult part, so both.
Mm. Okay, I will think. Mm. Okay. So I think that my favorite part was starting to feel like I arrive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know the streets, I know I can move in the city easily, or I start feeling like this is my city and not needing kind of like at some point I felt like I was very dependent on my boyfriend, like, oh, I'm scared I'm gonna get lost or something. So yeah, just being independent and feeling like it was my city and I was not just visiting. And also when I arrived, I had a very like sense of like I don't know, like I remember it. I don't know how to describe it, but I felt very like this doesn't feel new. So that was good. And also having plans that helped me, like that was amazing. Like I have plans with my friends, or I have this, that, yeah, that was my favorite
Yeah.
part.
That sounds really nice. This feeling of somehow being home, right? That you
Uh-huh.
belong here, and this place is a
Mhm.
part of you now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess
Even when I come back now to Guatemala, it's very like I miss my routine in Hamburg, and it's very like confusing. It's okay. And the least favorite part was like maybe missing my family, like this sense of I'm so happy here, but they're not here. That was like that is still the hardest part, but like it gets
yeah.
better.
Yeah, I think also because maybe you also want to share like a lot of experiences with them that you're
Hmm.
having here, right? But you can't
Yes.
really because they're not here. So
Yeah, exactly.
um, I think that's the one of the hardest parts of being an international.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Because I also feel like you lose so many, like you miss so many events, so many stuff. Like, I don't know. I see like my sister getting older, and like I wish I could be with her for a lot of stuff, or
Yeah.
my parents and my brother. And for example, right now my brother is getting married,
Oh,
and
congratulations.
yeah, and but we do a lot of like stuff. That's why I was in recently in Guatemala, and I really try to be like in, I don't know, the wedding, the most important stuff, but still you miss a lot in between, or birthdays and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the tough part, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I want to go back to something that you said, where you mentioned that it leaves you a bit confused when your home is in two places. How do you deal with that? So, how do you tell yourself what your identity is, now that you
Hmm.
belong to more than one place, or more than one place is belongs to you, let's say, in your heart.
Yeah.
So, how do you deal with this? I don't want to call it multiple personalities, but
Yeah.
this kind of identity question. So, what am I now?
Mm, I think I have always had it like a little bit, so it has been like throughout my life because I have a, like I don't look very Latina, and my family has like European like roots. So it was very a lot of like, oh, but you are not Latina, you don't look like it. And I was like, but where I am from, like I feel like I am. And when I went to DCISB thing, they were like, oh, but you are very Latina, like you act like it. So it was like just okay, I'm gonna accept it. Like, and when then I came here, I like, yeah, I started adopting a lot of German stuff that maybe in Guatemala they are more obvious. So I think it was just like starting to adapt it, and like to show, also to show my family and my friends about it, and to tell them like, I don't know, like the funny stuff that I learned here, or the stuff that happened here. So for example, my brother and my sister now say choose, like to say bye and stuff. So it's cute, like to see them adopting that. And yeah, I think it has just been like very lucky also that my family is open to learn about it. The family of my partner is open to learn about my country. So I don't have to be like just this way or just this way in each country. So it has been like a mission, a blending,
Yeah.
a blending of it. And I don't try to switch anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's also important, that you accept that you can be both at the same time and it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also like the community has helped me understanding that, because everybody like has the same situation sometimes. I have a lot of Latino friends, so they feel the same way. And it's good at least to have someone to
Yeah.
communicate it with,
Yeah.
or to, and just be heard, because in reality
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if they give you the perfect advice or they don't say anything, but you just communicate it and process it for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important because a lot of times there is like a conflict that internationals face, which is, oh, you know, am I now too, I don't know, German in this case, or have I
Yeah.
forgotten, I don't know, whatever my roots or where I came from? And there's a lot of self-judgment as well, but it's good that you just accept that you have a bit of everything, and not only, I think maybe not only just German and wherever you grew up,
Mhm.
but also maybe your friends, right? They also kind of, you also learn things from them, you also pick up stuff from other
Yeah.
cultures. So I think it's just good to, like you said, to just accept that it's a mix of things, and it doesn't make you less or more of anything, right?
Yeah, and it's like that like quote, I don't know, it's like in Instagram and stuff, like it's like you are probably like I was going to invent something more like intellectual. What is Instagram? That is like you are built of the stuff that you like or that of stuff your
Yeah,
friends do, and so I try to think about it like that, like
yeah,
just like a mixture of everything I have learned from everyone I have
yeah.
seen and I like. So yeah, like
That's
not to
very
be
healthy.
so yeah, yeah, like not to be so tough because it's already hard. Like you shouldn't do it harder for yourself. And
Yes.
also therapy, like you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like to do it has been a theme. But yeah,
Yeah. I think that's very good. Don't make things harder for yourself. There's enough things to make it hard, so don't do that to
yeah,
yourself.
exactly. Like we have to deal with so many new stuff here that like
Yeah.
I always feel like I feel like I had to be like a kid again because we relearn
Hmm.
even the language. So it's
That's
like
true.
like
Yeah.
nicer to yourself maybe.
Yeah. Just be kind to yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah, like I don't know how you say it in English. Like give yourself some slack. No, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah. Cut yourself some slack. Yes.
cut
Hmm.
yourself some. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, that's good because, and now I'm just looking at the time, and maybe we want to come to a closing. So I want to ask you before we leave, is there something that you want to convey to the listeners, like a message from your side that
yeah.
you would just give out to the world?
Well, just that, like take the leap of faith. Like say yes to whatever you want to do. Trust your intuition. Also, you know yourself better than anybody, and try to connect with that and do what you think is gonna make you happy. And the right people will come along the way and come with you. So yeah, I just trust that.
Yeah, that's great. Trust yourself, trust the process, and listen to your intuitions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
uh, Great. That has been, I really enjoyed this talk, Natalia, I have to say. I had a lot of fun, and I wish we could go on for longer, but
I didn't notice it was already almost 40 minutes.
yeah. Exactly. It was really great. Thank you for agreeing to come over. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your perspectives. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people who are listening in. Yeah. Thank you once
Mhm.
again. It has been an
Yeah,
absolute
thank you.
pleasure.
It was amazing. Yeah.
And to the listeners, we'll see you next time. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.